expand soon. Gee. And hello to those of you who are watching us on YouTube at home or will be in the future. Would you please stand and join in singing One Light? Come on, come on. Oops. Button ain't working. So please be seated. There's no receiver there. Oh.
You know, that was going to be my next question.
Thank you very much.
It takes a village, you know?
Yes.
Thank goodness we are one. Yeah, talk about it amongst yourselves, right? Can you find a place to plug it in? Make sure it works. There you go.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
We hide the thing in the most obvious place, in the control. All right, so anyway, let's just take a moment and relax. Tune into your heart a little bit, and if you close your eyes, that might help. And affirm with me this opening prayer. Father, Mother, God, I open my heart and mind this morning to your presence that is within me and in everyone and everything. I open my heart to your peace, love, wisdom, and power that permeates all creation. I let your presence fill my being, and I express peace, poise, confidence, and strength. Relaxing into your loving care, I now release all fears and worries, because I know that you uphold and sustain me always. Father, Mother, God, right now your loving presence calms me, quiets the storms around me, and keeps me in perfect peace. Right now, and every day to come, I will know my oneness with you. And so I embrace my feelings of your infinite love, and I let go of every concern, because I know that all is well all the time. I am grateful to live in a universe that is a sanctuary of love and peace for all who live with an open heart. And so it is, and always will be. Amen. To affirm together with me our statement of faith: there is only one power, one presence in my life and in the universe, God the good, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. And our mission statement: to develop our spiritual connection with God through prayer, education, and service. Now, would you please stand and join in singing our congregational song? There we go. Thank you, John. The 1 and 2 is there? 1 and 2, 2, great. Great.
the way. Love, love, love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the way. Joy, joy, joy is the answer. Joy is the answer. Joy is the way. Joy, joy, joy is the answer. Joy is the answer. Joy is the way. Peace, peace, peace is the answer. Peace is the answer. Peace is the way. Peace, peace, peace is the answer. Peace is the answer. Peace is the way. Love, love, love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the way. Love, love, love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the way.
All right, please be seated. All right. I guess it's Gloria's turn. She's going to read the daily word for us. Prosperity.
Good morning. Prosperity fills my life. Current flowing through my home's wiring provides light, but first I must flip the switch to turn it on. Divine circumstance, the building blocks of creation, is the source from which my prosperity grows, but first I must claim it in consciousness to live a prosperous life. The divine idea of prosperity is unlimited, more than sufficient to meet every need. I know true prosperity is when I live from this truth. Giving freely and generously keeps prosperity at the forefront of my consciousness. I know the more I give, the more of myself I place into circulation, the more I will experience. As I give of myself, I increase the flow of prosperity in the life and in the word. And he said to them, pay attention to what you hear. The measure you give will be the measure you get, and still more will be given to you. Mark 4:24.
Thank you, Gloria. And now as we prepare for meditation, would you join in singing Surely the Presence?
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
I invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already and begin to relax deeply. Let the chair do its work supporting you. Feel that presence, the presence of God. Feel the joy in the room, the love, the friendship that we have with one another, the love that we have for one another. Experience it, friends, completely and totally. Wallow in it. Breathe into it. This is God in action. This is God. All that is good, all that is love, all that is joy, all that is here, right now. This is God. Surely we do feel that presence. We live and breathe and have our daily experience in that presence. And we take this opportunity on Sundays to remind ourselves of that. Remind ourselves that there is no separation between us and God, none. Wherever we are, God is what we say. It's what we believe. It's what we know to be true. Wherever we are, God is. And we are so grateful and so humbled by that great truth. The truth that truly does set us free. Free from any opposition to itself. So we relax deeply. We breathe into our heart space. We acknowledge the joy and the love that we feel. We allow ourselves to well up with gratitude for all that we have, all that we are, all that we give, and all that we receive. Gratitude, love, joy. Right here and right now, in the presence of God, in the presence of each other, we do this together in the silence, friends. And now very slowly, very, very gently, lovingly, we begin to return our attention to the room, to the outer. We take a few deep breaths, prepare ourselves to open our eyes once more, having restored ourselves together. We are so grateful for this opportunity. So we express that gratitude now when we open our eyes and come together singing about the bond we have, the bond of love. Let there be light. Good morning again, everyone. So good to see you, all of you. Yeah. I want to say something before I start my talk. The last time I mentioned Dr. Ken Folds, I was asked later what the name of your book is, Dr. Ken. So first of all, welcome back. Dr. Ken is a writer and a professor at a university in New York. And he wrote a book, which is brilliant, actually. Thank you very much for sharing it. And it's called The Jedi Handbook of Global Education. The Jedi Handbook of Global Education. You may recall months back, I did a talk one morning about the Force. I said, let the Force be with you, because I'm a big fan of the whole idea. So Dr. Ken gave me a copy of his book, which speaks to it at a level that I never imagined before, actually. Force equals God, in my opinion, my humble opinion. So do chat with him and check out the book. It's an extraordinarily good book. Very, very good book. And hello to everybody else. Good to see some of you again. I met Miss Gloria, or re-met. I think we met some time back. Jan and Jay, you slipped in when I wasn't looking. Jay, your cap is in the office. Please help me remember that, okay? He left his cap at my house a couple weeks ago, and it's been in the office waiting for him ever since. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. And I just have to say this. I know I'll embarrass her, but there's a lady sitting here on the inside of the second row, right behind where I sit, whose name is Audrey. Those of you who've taken any of my classes online have met her online. She's here in person today, and those of you who meditate with me Monday morning know her well from that. And I have had the pleasure of knowing her for, I don't know how many years, a while now. And she has always been a model for me, a model about how to be graceful and loving and kind, how to walk the talk in a way that doesn't necessarily speak a lot of words, but the words, when they do come out, are words that you want to pay attention to. So I'm so glad you're here. I haven't seen her since I moved, but the two lovely people next to her brought her down today to come to church and then come to my house afterward for some time together. Tracy and Newt, also former students, and two of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. If there was ever a marriage, in my humble opinion, that could stand up and be a model for what marriage should be, it is the two of them. When you ask Newt on any given day how he is, what's your response?
Living the dream.
We're living the dream. And then he says, look who I'm married to. Right? Yeah. All you guys write that down. So glad you're here today, truly. Thank you for coming. Eric Butterworth, Reverend Eric Butterworth, in a book that he wrote called The Creative Life, says this: the creation story is not something God did or does. It is what God is. It is a process within the principle working, acting on itself. Creativity is the God process in you, expressing as you. The creation is your story, the key to your creative genius. Thank you, Reverend Butterworth, for that clarification and that insight. We're creators, friends, all of us. And creation is a constant. It never stops. We are creating every single solitary second. As far as the Bible is concerned, friends, the creation story is a piece of fiction called an allegory. An allegory. A piece of fiction called an allegory means that it's a make-believe story that stands for some profound truth. It's a make-believe story that stands for some profound truth or high moral principle. In this case, the truth is creation is. It is ongoing. It is constant. Mr. Fillmore, Charles Fillmore, one of Unity's co-founders, wrote one of the most important books on the subject, called The Mysteries of Genesis. Eric Butterworth, I already mentioned, world-famous theologian, author, speaker, student of Mr. Fillmore's, wrote a very, very good book called The Creative Life, about the creation story. Scores of Unity ministers have written articles and pamphlets and books on the subject. Science of Mind creator Ernest Holmes and Christian Science creator Mary Baker Eddy both agreed, that the creation story in the Bible is an allegory, that it describes the creative process as used by us every day in every way. And that opinion lives outside of New Thought, well outside of New Thought, friends. Please know that. Theologians of all denominations, many of them, have also written on the subject. Among them, by the way, one of the most famous Catholic theologians who ever lived, St. Augustine. One of the most famous Catholic theologians who ever lived, wrote a text on the subject. In fact, he suggested in his text that biblical passages should not be taken literally. He actually goes on to say that it's foolish to do so. Now, mind you, I never heard any of that growing up. What I just shared with you, never. Never heard any of that. The only reference I ever heard to the creation story was a literal interpretation. Therefore, I shied away from it because I just couldn't wrap my head around that. Sometimes I wish I had heard what I just shared with you early on, but then again, I may not have been ready to hear it. So there's that. Not a couple years ago, actually, at the very beginning of this year, another of my students, a woman who's taken classes with me now for several years, and the daughter of a very successful theologian in the Presbyterian Church, sent me an email and asked me if I would share with her what Unity says about the creation story. And it struck me because here's a woman who's been attending Unity churches for decades. And she's asking me now to tell her what Unity thinks about the creation story. What does that suggest? It is not something you hear talked about frequently from the platform. And I myself have avoided it, mostly because there are lots of people who come to Unity, who find Unity, who have wounds yet to heal from their earliest understanding of the Bible. Many people. So I'm a little reluctant to bring up the Bible too often, lest those people leave this morning or any given morning feeling like that wound has been reopened a little bit. On the other hand, I say, don't let that stop you. So it's a fine line, truly, friends. So I try to weigh very intentionally how much time I spend talking about the Bible. But I decided when my friend, who'd been a member of Unity for decades, asked me what in the heck Unity says about the creation story, that I would talk about it at least once a year. And today's your lucky day. This is the day. It all starts in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, there was God. Well, yeah. In the beginning of everything, there is God. Remember, it's a story that stands in place of a profound truth. It doesn't get much more profound than that, does it, friends? In the beginning of everything, there is God. Now, in the story, these things happen that I'm about to share with you and that you already know about on one of 7 days. People who interpret the Bible literally, and there are some, believe, in fact, that each of these things happened on a 24-hour day. Very few people believe that. Some people believe that a day represents many days. Others believe decades. Others believe years. There are people who actually argue that it's centuries, millennia. You get to choose. Because the truth is, we don't really know. In Unity, we say each of these days represents a step in the creation process. Each of these days, these 7 days, represents a step, another stage in the creation process. Step 1, let there be light. Let there be. What a gentle, easy, fluid way of declaring light. Let there be. Light. Well, nothing begins until you have an aha. Till the light bulb goes on. Nothing. It's an idea. It's a moment of understanding. That's where it all begins. That's the light. Step 1 in the creation. Step 2. Oh, now I need to share these with you because they're so cool. Let there be light. Step 2, let there be a firmament. Firmament. And that's been interpreted in really interesting ways. I did a little bit of research, not a lot, because I've heard this interpretation for as long as I can remember, the literal interpretation of the word firmament. What's interesting to me, it comes from a Hebrew word that means expansiveness. Isn't that interesting? Let there be light out of the expansiveness, the sea of infinite potentiality that is God. Let there be light. Let there be an aha, the firmament. Step 3, let there be land. Let there be seeds that grow in the land. Well, friends, that's what ideas are. Seeds. When they're planted in the fertile soil of the infinite expanse of God, in God mind, which is what we do, when we plant them there, they take on life. Seeds, ideas. Let mind generate an idea, which is a seed, and let it be planted, because then what will it do? It will generate yet more seeds. What a beautiful, beautiful symbol that is for the third step of creation. Let us conceive, let us ideate. Step 4, let there be light and dark. Ebb and flow, ins and outs. This is the nature of our reality, friends. Our ideas now begin to ebb and flow. We dance with them. All of this is going on in the mind, of course, but we dance with them on some level as they begin to shape, just begin to shape. Things of texture begin to formulate up here. Things that actually have definition begin to formulate up here. Things that last forever sometimes. Things that feed our souls. Things that reflect our light in the darkness. Let there be day and night. Step 5, let there be living things. and give them the ability to multiply. Friends, we breathe life into our ideas. That's the next step. That is the next step in the process. We breathe life into our ideas. And once we breathe life into them, they then have the ability to multiply, to form new ideas, and so on. And some of those ideas take flight. There's reference in this passage to fish and fowl. Some of them take flight immediately, and others swim along. You know, some of our ideas swim along, and sometimes they swim along with difficulty, like a salmon who's swimming against the current to spawn. They get there, but sometimes after some level of difficulty and struggle. Can we not relate to this? Of course we can. That is step 5. And some of those ideas actually die a natural death. And that's a good thing, isn't it? Aren't you grateful that some of the ideas you've had died a natural death? I know I am. That's exactly where they needed to go. They died a natural death because they weren't going to serve anyone. They weren't going to serve anyone. Some of them lumber along. If you think about all the animals that live on the planet and you associate ideas with each of them, some of them slither along, some of them crawl along. You know where I'm going with this. It's a beautiful metaphor, friends, for what happens to the ideas that we have. And then step 6. Step 6 is us. The idea that is us. The idea that we are the creators, that we do these things. We engage this process. We are a divine idea. We are a divine idea that originated in divine mind. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about a supreme being that sits on a throne somewhere. And I repeat that regularly because someone needs to hear it today who didn't hear it the last time. It's an energy. It's so remarkably, mysteriously, miraculously unimaginable that words just can't quite describe it. I can't quite describe it satisfactorily. It's an energy. God is energy. All of us participate in this process of creation. Every single solitary one of them. All of us are beasts of the field, you see. All of us till the soil. We serve it, and it serves us. And then step 7. And it is done. This is the day, according to the story, that God rested. The 7th stage of creation is to release it, to let it go. We have a saying in Unity, let go and let God. You have a divine idea. You become aware of it. You use all of your powers, your beautiful powers, automatically kick in and bring it into demonstration, and then you let it go. The story says God rested. Well, rest is not inactivity. Rest is a peaceful coexistence with the thing that you've created. No more required on your part. Your work is done. Now you exist with it peacefully. You coexist with it. When I was doing a little bit of research this week, I ran across something that intrigued me. I found a little conversation that was published in which a very, very famous theologian wrote that as far as he's concerned, we are still, all of us, humankind, in the Sabbath, because the perfect human being hasn't yet been made manifest. The perfect human being, he argues, that is the divine idea of divine mind, that perfect human being isn't yet completely formed. That would be you and me, friends, and that would explain a lot. It's a little comforting to think about it that way, isn't it? I found myself liking the idea. I like it. You know, there's some merit in it. It resonates with me a little bit. But you know what? We're closer today than we've ever been in the history of humankind. It may not feel like it to you in any given moment, but if you stand back, like I encourage people to do, stand way back and look for the bigger picture. Look for the bigger picture. You will see that humankind is closer to outpicturing the ideal, the Christ human, than it's ever been before. I reminded people in my class the other night that I attended a lecture recently that was delivered from one of the universities in Europe by a Dr. Kenny. There were thousands of people on this lecture, by the way. It was really cool to look at where around the world people were coming from. I couldn't see them. Their faces don't show up on Zoom when there are thousands. And he talked about the fact that we're not in the midst of a paradigm shift. That's old news. That's small stuff, small potatoes. We're in the process of something much bigger than that. It's called a sea change. And he said that at the root of it, he believes, is the complete disintegration of a medieval religious system that doesn't work. I don't know. There's something to that. You know, when many of us went to church as children, innocent babies, and heard that God was going to smite us if we had a bad thought. When many of us as innocent babies heard that we had to beg and plead and do all kinds of things, you know, make recitations 100 times over in order to get God to forgive us. And then and only then maybe we would get to heaven, and then and only then after certain other things take place. I have to wonder if maybe the disintegration of that medieval structure, system of beliefs, hasn't already served its purpose. Dr. Kinney believes it has. He believes, and thousands of people tuned in to hear him say this, friends, thousands from all over the world. When I say stand back and take a big picture, this is what I'm talking about. Find places where you can be with people who stand back and take a much larger view of things, a world view. Like-minded people whose message resonates with you. Find them. It's so easy with the internet, so easy. We can do that in ways we could never, ever have done that before, unless we were blessed to have the ability to travel whenever we wanted to, wherever we wanted to go, to hear such things. It's important, friends. Thousands of people hanging out, getting excited about the fact that there is a reemergence, Dr. Kinney argues, of the perfect man. I say man, I mean human. I'm not excluding women. The Christ man. The final emergence, the day on which the Christ man stands up and says, hey, hey. Right? We're so much closer. We're so much closer. So that's what unity says about the creation story. You get to choose. Always you get to choose. There's no right or wrong belief. That's an oxymoron, to have a wrong belief. It's not possible. A belief is a belief. So you get to choose how you want to interpret that story. And if what I suggested today is very different than anything you ever considered before, just sit with it for a bit. Sit with it for a bit, you know? And then if you decide to interpret the story literally, go for it. Absolutely go for it. If your interpretation is somewhere between literal and mine, go for that too. But know what you believe. You see, that's important. Know what you believe. Don't shy away from your beliefs. Know them and then own them. Know them and then own them. And no matter what they are, you're welcome here. You get that? This is a place where all beliefs are welcome, truly welcome. So this week, my First Steps class, my prosperity class that meets on Saturday morning, was given some homework. And when I was reviewing that homework in preparation for yesterday morning's class, I came across a paragraph that jumped out at me. It transcended time and space. It jumped off the page and landed squarely on my heart. And I wanted to share it with you. You're the first people I thought of. I wanted you to hear this. Dr. Reverend Ken Daigle from San Francisco, a beautiful, beautiful man, wrote it. And I want to share it with you now. Friends, you are magnificent expressions of the divine. Your hiding your light does not serve you or the world. The world desperately needs people willing to answer the call to be the Christ, one baby step at a time. Famous anthropologist Margaret Mead said once, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." You, friends, are a small, thoughtful, committed group of citizens. You reflect on your beliefs. You talk about them amongst yourself. You find ways to shine your light more brightly. You spread joy wherever you go. You practice love. You are loving. You, friends, and you are committed to living that life. You, friends, are a thoughtful, committed, beautiful group of citizens who can change the world, and I love you for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. That was a great refresher on the creative process. And also, you know, in 45 years or so since I have joined Unity, I've seen a tremendous expansion of the consciousness and the awareness of what the truth is all about, all across the globe. You just look at the publications of all the books that have spread worldwide. It's great. We're moving forward. Now some special music. Thank you.
It's an oldie but goodie from Charlotte's Web. How very special are we for just a moment to be part of life's eternal rhyme. How very special are we to have on our family tree Mother Earth and Father Time. He turns the seasons around, and so she changes her gown, but they always look in their prime. They go on dancing their dance of everlasting romance, Mother Earth and Father Time. The summer larks return turn to sing. Oh, what a gift they give. Then autumn days grow short and cold. Oh, what a joy to live. How very special are we for just a moment to be part of life's eternal rhyme. How very special are we to have on our family tree Mother Earth and Father Time. Mother Earth and Father Time.
Thank you, John and Dinah. They're a wonderful fill-in for, when Chef and Linda, our regular musicians, are doing a little gig somewhere down, I think in Stewart. And it's just great to have them. You guys do a fabulous job. Thanks so much. All right, now we're at the time in our service where we bless our offerings and tithes. If you would take them into your hand, and let's affirm together, please, our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. All right, we have some volunteers. Good, good, good. All right, let's look at some announcements. Prayer chaplain today, Stacy, is now collecting the offerings over there. Spiritual discussion group, let's see, when is this? That's in December, isn't it?
Next,
First Tuesday in December.
Yeah.
All right, John leads that. And Lana, who's also collecting, she be happy to do some exercises with you, chair yoga. Good thing I do a couple of them at home, just to stretch my hips. And prayer circle, we do that on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. Anyone's welcome. We always have a small group, but it's a powerful group. We love doing it. Asking how many videos on the way? Okay, all right. We're still doing the miracle thing, are we? Do we know?
We're trying.
Okay. Anybody who's had a miracle they would like to share, they'll be recorded, either audio only or video, and we'll present it up here. So think about it. If you had something really great happen to you, that you would consider a miracle. Toys for Tots. Time to collect. There's a box back there by the entrance. Just bring your toy in. I'm not sure whether, do they allow, they have to be wrapped, or is it, okay, just unwrapped. Okay, that's what I thought, yeah. All right, and next Sunday, Reverend Linda again. Thank you. So would you please come up and we'll bless the offerings. Let's see, where's the prayer book? Oh, you've got it right. Hey, great. Yeah. You guys are shut. All right. Would you please just extend your hands, send your loving energy. And Father, Mother, God, we're so very, very grateful for all of the gifts that we received today. And at any time, I know some of you sent them in during the month. And we are so grateful because they go forth to continue the work of this wonderful unity of Port St. Lucie, to raise consciousness for us as individuals and also for all the people that we touch along in our lives as we go forth, and at least to whatever degree we can manifest that Christ's presence within, the love, the peace, the joy, we bring it into the world and we change the world. And we're so very grateful that we have an opportunity to actually do that. And we also want to bless all the prayer requests that have been put in the prayer box. I know we put ours in on Thursday, and we see everyone receiving that which is for their highest good. And we're so grateful because we know that in spirit all these prayers have already been fulfilled, and we see them manifest in the physical. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, ladies. All right. I guess we can go on. Thank you to everyone. Of course, our wonderful video team back there, Paul and the whole group today. Wow. Great, great, great. All right. And John and Diana, thank you so much. And I know there are many of you, the board members and everything that's, it takes so many people to make this go. And we're so very grateful for all of you. And now, if you would stand and join in singing our peace song.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
What happened to? Oh, let's affirm our prayer protection. Okay.
Surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right. Yay, God. All right. Thanks, everyone. Let your light shine this week. Be those Christ. All right. Thank you so